Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I'd like to show you a couple of advanced techniques that we can use to help when a trade is going with us. In particular, I'm thinking of this TS3 buy setup here, sell setup here. So these are a couple of advanced sort of tips and tricks, if you like, to show how we can particularly monitor a trade as it's unfolding with us. Here I'm using the beta version of our new MTPredictor version 7. Again, we're still in beta testing at the moment, but that's progressing well. Right, so I just want to have a look at this setup here. For standard traders, it's with the red STF, so it's a standard trade setup. If I put my analysis on, you can see that the trade was taken in nicely and it was going down. However, it didn't quite make the first target. In fact, we're only a tick shy of this, so we're very, very close to this first target. And sometimes trades don't reach our first target, so I want to show you a couple of tips and tricks that we can use, that when a trade is going with us we can use to monitor it. I'll leave those on. So the first place that we can look at for an area where a trade that's going with us is likely to fail or stop is the DP from the prior B wave low, or high if it's going the other direction. So this little swing low here, we can right mouse click and put our decision point on. Now very often a trade will get to this level and then reverse without actually reaching our first target. So it's the area I like to first look at where a market is or a trade is what I call likely to fail. And as you can see in this example, this is exactly what it did. This TS3 sell got down into this this support zone before rallying up. So that's an area that we want to look for initially as well. What we can also do, if I just take that off, what we can also do is monitor how the market's unfolding. This is a technique I've looked at in our advanced trading sessions. It's a very nice one to look at, and it basically it goes around the idea that markets will unfold in an impulsive swing. However, if a market unfolds in a corrective swing, then that move is unlikely to unfold. Now what we do here is impulsive swings are normally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s in Elliott wave sequence, but the point or the main point to note is that a corrective swing is an ABC. So if you're in a trade like this one and the market only unfolds as an ABC pattern, then you know that the move is likely to be coming to an end, and you can take action accordingly. So let's see how this move here unfolded. Again, using MTPredictor, it's easy. We just hover over in real time when this is unfolding. We just hover over the last bar, right mouse click, and in this case I'm going to look at the minor waves. So I'll just do Elliott wave minor, and as you can see here, the software has found an ABC. So this swing down here is actually unfolding as a corrective ABC. Now this is not what we want. So if the market unfolds an ABC, we know that the market's odds on is going to reverse. Therefore we want to either start to lock in some profit, or we want to at the very least have our stop at break even so we don't get stopped out for a losing trade. So with this particular trade setup, if you can combine these two little tips and tricks, in that the area where you're most likely to fail, in other words, where a trade setup is most likely to fail, is the DP from the prior B wave swing, and as you can see that was in this area here. The market dropped into this area here as an ABC. We know an ABC is a corrective pattern, therefore that meant that the market was unlikely to carry on down to our first target. So these two things combined to tell you that this short trade here was probably not likely to reach your first target, therefore you should bring your stop a bit closer. So perhaps you should look to trail your stop just above perhaps these bar highs here and lock in a small 1.9 hour profit, or at the very least have your stop to break even so you avoid a losing trade. But the point being is, these are a couple of tips and tricks that allow you to monitor a trade as it's unfolding, and as such see whether it's likely to carry on to your first target or not, or when it's not, as in this case, you can take action to lock in at least a small profit. So hopefully that's a good couple of tips and tricks from the advanced traders using MTPredictor. Just want to clear all off here. Want to also have a quick look again for the advanced users among you. Again, this is a good little tips and tricks video here. Is that this particular trade setup here, if I zoom out a bit, we had a history triangle here. So if I put the analysis on, you can see it was a perfectly valid TS4 buy setup on a blue STF. Market went up, took you in, then declined back down again and would have stopped you out for a -1R loss. Now, as we know, losing trades are inevitable. Any system will always make a losing trade. The trick is keeping that loss small. So if you could have had just a -1R loss here and locked in perhaps a plus 1.9R profit, you would have made profit overall, and that's what trading is all about. However, were there any indications that this trade setup was likely to fail? And this is where the advanced traders using MTPredictor move away from our STF indicator and go to our larger degree charts with our DPs on them, because these are leading indicators. So if I go to my 15-minute chart here and I scroll back to halfway through the day like this, if I put the session line breaks on, you can see this is where the day was here. This was our TS3 sell and went down to fail at around this level. Market was rallying up. But let's now put the DP on from the prior pivot. Again, this is dead easy. We go back to the prior pivot, which is here. Right mouse click, decision point. Now you can see that this 15-minute decision point is actually on the chart before the market even got up there. If I zoom in a bit, there it is before the market even got there. So let's see what happened. Lo and behold, the market rallied, went up, hit that decision point target, which then made the high of the day before the market was rallying down. So the point being is that at this particular time, which is about just before 2 o'clock or around the 2 o'clock area, you knew that the 15-minute chart was at resistance, therefore the market or the large degree trend was down. So when you come to your buy setup here, which was at 3 o'clock, you knew that this was against an otherwise downtrend. In fact, actually, if I clear this off and I actually go to the 15-minute chart here, what I'll do is put this on so you can see the two together. So here I'll go back, put this DP on. There it is. Just drag it out a bit. Now I'll go back to the 3-minute chart. And as you can see here, you now can see that the 3-minute chart found 15-minute resistance here. So you knew that as the market was declining down to around this area here, you knew that this buy setup was actually against a market coming off 15-minute resistance. So therefore this could have been a good setup to avoid. So that's another tip and trick that we actually use when we're a bit more experienced and advanced MTPredictor customers, is that you can use the higher or larger degree time frame to then give you your larger degree support and resistance areas that help give you the larger degree trend that can then help you filter your setups in the direction of that trend, or in this case avoid setups that fall against that trend. So hopefully this has been a good video for you, in that it's taking you to slightly higher levels with the MTPredictor software program, in that where we're showing you the how to use the larger degree trend, and also showing you the DP for the prior wave B low as an area of where some setups are likely to fail, and also how we actually monitor the market going into these areas to see whether they're unfolding in what we call either impulsive or corrective patterns, and if the pattern is corrective, then we know to manage our trade a little bit more aggressively, and as such not wait for the first target and perhaps trying to bring our stop a little bit closer to lock in a small profit at this area. So hopefully a good video here to take you guys to slightly more advanced levels when using the MTPredictor software program.